Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and I figured I would do my review for The Force Awakens. Since today is the fan holiday, May the 4th, and even though the sequel trilogy, I always said that it's a hot mess and a half, I admittedly do favor The Force Awakens out of the three films that we got in the sequel trilogy. So here is my review for The Force Awakens. And if you guys are celebrating May the 4th, happy May the 4th. Star Wars, The Force Awakens, the first Star Wars movie that we got in like 10 years at this point. But this served as an official sequel to Return of the Jedi. The rebellion saved the galaxy from the Empire. They rid the galaxy of the Empire. Set 30 years, 40 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. The First Order is now threat, and the Resistance is pretty much the Republic, the Rebels 2.0. And we see Poe Dameron talking to this old guy who gives Poe this map to locate Luke Skywalker, because nobody knows where Luke Skywalker is. The Resistance wants to bring Luke Skywalker back so that he can help them in their struggle, where the First Order wants to destroy the Luke Skywalker so the Jedi won't come back, because at this point, the Jedi's no more, again. And so, this entire movie is in a race between who can locate Luke Skywalker first. And, Poe gives BB-8 the map to Luke Skywalker, tells BB-8 to run, that he'll find him eventually. So, like, the old guy that gives Poe the map, he gets killed by Kylo Ren, and he knew Kylo Ren before he was called Kylo Ren. And Poe tries to kill Kylo Ren, but ends up getting captured. And Finn, being a stormtrooper, this was his first mission to, like, pretty much raid and plunder this village. And Finn isn't exactly too thrilled of the First Order. So as soon as he pretty much hears about a Resistance pilot getting captured, he takes that chance to rescue Poe so he can escape the First Order. With Poe and Finn, their first tag team ever, escape this First Order hangar bay in a TIE fighter. And in the battle, they get crashed down to Jakku, where, like, before that, Poe and Finn were arguing about going back to Jakku, because Finn wanted to go back to Jakku to get BB-8 so he can deliver the map of Luke Skywalker to the Resistance. Finn didn't care; he was just wanting to get out. And so they crash landed. Poe's time on Jakku is explored in the Lego Force Awakens game. It would have been great to get like a mini series of Poe's time on Jakku, so we can give that filler, like what happened to Poe. Because like I've heard originally Poe was going to die, but Oscar Isaac asked J.J. Abrams to keep him alive, and well, we all know that he did. And that's probably one of the best choices in my opinion, because set up like good stories for Poe besides, hey, I'm just a one and done guy, you know. And Finn goes to this village where he essentially meets this scavenger girl named Rey, who doesn't know about like her heritage. She has daddy issues, and she is strangely strong in the Force. And admittedly, she's a bit of Mary Sue throughout this movie. Um, Ray, she's a scavenger on Jakku. She bumps into BB-8. She meets BB-8. And by the time she bumps into Finn, BB-8 told Ray that the jacket Finn is wearing is to Poe's. Finn believes that Poe is dead. So BB-8 takes that hard. Ray believes that Finn is a resistance pilot fighter. And Finn lies and brags. He lies to impress the pretty girl. Because admittedly, both Ray and Daisy Ridley is admittedly cute. I'm not gonna lie. Cute. And then we get this like whole battle. Because there's some stormtroopers that spy Finn. This places Ray in danger. So Finn, Ray, and BB-8 run away from the stormtroopers and some TIE fighters. They go into the Millennium Falcon, which is a piece of junk, after like this ship blows up. They pilot the Millennium Falcon out of Jakku just to get captured by Han Solo. Which they asked Han, you were the Han Solo that fought in the rebellion. You knew Luke Skywalker, didn't you? And we see like Han kind of looks over, say, yeah, I knew him. I knew Luke. And we can see that there's a bit of like sadness to Han. Because like nobody's seen Luke Skywalker, I'm guessing like in at least a decade, if not 5-ish years. Like ever since Kylo Ren became Kylo Ren. Because Kylo Ren was Luke Skywalker's apprentice that turned to the dark side and helped practically destroy the Jedi Temple. Which I guess was a good thing that Grogu wasn't Luke's Jedi apprentice by this time. Because Grogu probably would have like been killed or been traumatized all over again. So probably a good thing that Grogu wasn't around when this happened. Because this would be a second time when Grogu would have witnessed something like this happening. But so it's long story short, moving forward. We get this little Renthar bit where Han, Chewbacca, after that. So this, we all know Han Solo was a smuggler, so he referred back to being a smuggler, and he owes some people money. So there's two gangs that were trying to tell Han, yeah, you owe us money. Then Renthar got loose because of Rey. There's this big Renthar scene. Han, Chewbacca, Finn, and Rey with BB-8 gets back to the Millennium Falcon and escapes. And that's when Han tells Finn and Rey that Luke had went into hiding because he failed as a Jedi because a Jedi apprentice of his, turned to the dark side. And he felt guilty about it. And then we went to, I think it's called Takodana, where, Maz Kanata's cantina was. And we kind of get this little bit that's semi-reminiscent to the cantina scene of A New Hope. I say semi because, like, in the cantina scene of A New Hope, we get this little music number, right? You know? But in here we get a music number like as well in the cantina, which is why I'm saying semi resembles the New Hope scene. The Maz Kanata says, Han Solo! Han says, hi Maz. And then essentially like Han, Rey, and Finn talks to Maz. And Maz sees that Finn just wants to run. So Maz connects Finn to these two aliens that will trade transportation for work. Finn tries to convince Finn to stay, but fails. Then Rey gets like, here's this little girl calling, right? It's essentially her, but hearing saying, no! Come back! So she like is in this trance that she goes to, in this little in the basement of Maz Kanata's cantina, and she sees Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber that Luke Skywalker used and lost in Empire Strikes Back. She touches the lightsaber and she gets this like really cool force vision, you know? And like we get teased the Knights of Ren, we get teased the Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order to like get ransacked and destroyed. We see little Rey say, "No, come back," to this flying ship that a lot of fans at the time were saying it has to be Luke Skywalker. Man, I remember being disappointed about that when that didn't happen in the the Rise of Skywalker. But anyways, that Force Vision scene that Rey had was awesome. And then we get to hear just the end, Ian McGregor, Alice Goodness saying, "Rey?" And then Ian McGregor saying, "These are your first steps." And that was cool. That was cool. That was probably my favorite part of the entire movie. It's just that Force Vision, because I like tease of what could have happened, and my screen went black, but that whole Force Vision scene teased what could have happened, and mainly a few bits and pieces here and there did happen that we saw in the movie in The Last Jedi. But it would have been great just to see like most of what happened in this Force Vision take place in both episode 8 and 9, but sadly we didn't. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that that Force Vision scene was my favorite. So Maz Kanata tries to tell Rey that that's kind of like Luke trying to call out to her, and the Force is with her. Rey doesn't want that, so she runs away. So that's why she gets captured by Kylo Ren. We see Finn using the lightsaber on a stormtrooper set saying "traitor," which is a meme of this movie. With Han, Chewie, and Finn gets captured by the First Order until the Resistance saves them. And then we essentially see Han seeing Kylo Ren from a distance. He gets spooked. And by this time, we kind of established that Kylo Ren is Han and Leia's kid. So when Han finally sees Leia in this movie, after getting interrupted by C-3PO, who has a red arm in this movie, so also gets explained how C-3PO gets explained, how 3PO gets his red arm is explained in the Lego Star Wars DLC game as well, visually. So if you guys want to see that, yeah. But Han tells Leia that I saw her son. And so Finn, they realize that so our heroes go back to the Resistance base. Finn and Poe reunites. And essentially Finn tells the Resistance, yeah, the first Starkiller base is where the First Order's at. I need to go there to rescue Rey. So essentially, Han, Chewbacca, and Finn rescues Rey. While Poe leads a group of TIE fighters to destroy the Starkiller base, because Starkiller base is pretty much the Death Star but 2.0. Starkiller base is, I believe it was Ilum. It's a planet Ilum, but the First Order mined and took over that, and now Starkiller base. What I mean by Death Star 2.0 is besides just being able to destroy one planet, it gets Starkiller base gets to destroy multiple planets, which is pretty much Death Star 2.0. And so Rey, Finn is successful rescuing Rey. Han and Chewbacca sets up mines to destroy the Starkiller base shield, so Poe and the other Resistance heroes can destroy the Starkiller base. Um, we see this moment where Han is talking to Kylo Ren, and that's probably because like Han made a promise to Leia if he sees Kylo Ren bring their son back. So this is like partially like Han trying to keep his promise to Leia, and he tries to convert Kylo Ren back to Ben Solo, but Ben Solo or Kylo Ren kills Han Solo. Enrages Chewbacca, which I never seen like Chewbacca so mad in my like life. Practically winning Kylo Ren, and then like like Finn and Rey shoots at some stormtroopers, escapes. Kylo Ren follows them into the forest, and we see Kylo Ren force pushing Rey to get knocked out on a tree, while Finn and Kylo Ren fights. Finn gets his line spliced, which causes him to be like unconscious for like an entire week. Because I think The Last Jedi and Force Awakens time difference is a week. So like, I don't want to say like realistically, but I would think like Finn would be unconscious for like 2-3 weeks, if even, due to that. But and there's no way Finn should have been able to like walk as like well as he did in The Last Jedi after his duel with Kylo Ren. But anyways, so that's when Kylo Ren tries to use the Force to grab his grandfather's lightsaber, and many fans, including myself, when I watched the movie in theaters the first time, because I saw this movie opening night, that it was going to be Luke Skywalker that was going to grab the lightsaber, which is why Kylo Ren has struggled with getting the lightsaber. But no, it was Rey. Like she used the Force to like Jedi mind trick a stormtrooper that was played by James Bond, like Daniel Craig, I want to say. But now she like grabs the lightsaber, says, "Oh shit," and then activates the lightsaber, beats Kylo Ren, giving him a scar that goes across his face that somehow moved to be part of his eye in The Last Jedi. Yeah. And so, we see the Starkiller base starting to crack as the Resistance, or what the Resistance pilots are doing. Chewbacca carries Finn to the Falcon, so they escape. And by this time, Poe destroyed the last thing that held Starkiller Base together, which allowed Starkiller Base and I guess Ilium to explode. Because from my understanding, like I said earlier, the planet Ilium was converted into Starkiller Base, and Ilium. The reason why I mentioned Ilium is because that's where the Jedi would get their crystals in like the Clone Wars and stuff. Which there was actually like story arc where Ahsoka Tano helped these Jedi younglings to construct their lightsabers, get their crystals and stuff, and Ilium was in that episode. I think that was in like season 3, maybe season 4. I forget, but so the Resistance goes back to their base. And we like, of course, Leia sad. She sensed that Kylo Ren killed Han, which made her sad. Chewbacca's taking Han's death hard, and as everyone's pretty much grieving, C-3PO says, "General, you need to see something." So the Resistance has most of the map, right? Where to find Luke Skywalker. BB-8 had the remaining. So the Resistance sent Rey to find Luke Skywalker. And we see Chewbacca going to Act 2 to present Luke Skywalker his father's lightsaber. Which I also heard that one good thing I would say about Rian Johnson, because I'm not a huge fan of The Last Jedi, but one good thing I have to say about Rian Johnson is that he asked J.J. Abrams to have R2-D2 go along with Rey and Chewbacca to see Luke, besides having BB-8. So as much frustration as I have towards Rian Johnson with how he handled The Last Jedi, that's one thing I always respect Rian Johnson for. He convinced J.J. Abrams to allow R2D to tag along, which was great. That was debatably the best move, because that made the whole reunion scene that made it bittersweet to see Luke and BB-8 in The Last Jedi reuniting. So good. So, I enjoy the reunion scene. And how, even Luke's gone R2's case about language. I thought that was cool. But, essentially the movie just ends with Rey giving Luke, presenting Luke with Anakin's saber, and Luke just looks at the lightsaber. So, ends at that part. And I enjoy that. The main criticism I have was typically what people are criticizing the movie for, is not reuniting Han, Luke, and Leia together, at least for one last time. And technically could have done that in flashbacks in The Last Jedi, because at this time flashbacks was introduced in Star Wars movies in Rogue One. So they could have reunited the trio in either The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens. Missed opportunity now, because they can't never do that with Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, because Carrie Fisher's sadly dead. But missed opportunity, and that's my main criticism towards The Force Awakens. And sure, I'll acknowledge this is practically a carbon copy of A New Hope, where it was Luke, Han, and Leia were getting the rebel Death Star plans to the rebel base, and the Empire was trying to destroy the rebels, so they weren't successful in doing that. And pretty much it was the same plot, but the difference was the plans, the Death Star plans in this case, was the map to Luke Skywalker. That was really the only difference. But, yeah, that, I have to say, The Force Awakens is the best Star Wars movie in the sequel trilogy. It set up so many great things that The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker dropped the ball in. And, man, I remember back when The Force Awakens was out, at least for the most part, the fandom was excited, it was positive. Seeing The Force Awakens, seeing Rogue One was a really amazing time to be a Star Wars fan. And then the lead up to the Last Jedi was an amazing time to be a Star Wars fan. Then after The Last Jedi, it was the fandom split. But point being, it was such an amazing time being a Star Wars fan. And practically everybody, at least for the most part, everybody was excited for The Force Awakens. And I miss that. The prequel haters / defenders got along, because we were practically all excited for the Force Awakens being the first Star Wars movie in 10 years and being an official Disney's version of the sequel trilogy just getting started. Oh, awesome time being a Star Wars fan. I miss that feeling. Miss that. But anyways, I'll give this about like a 7 out of 10. It would have been 8, but like I said, the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker kind of like dropped the ball a bit. It was kind of hurts it a bit for me. So that says, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And may the force be with us all.